Two major professional sports leagues took steps today to return to play. Major League Soccer players ratified a new collective bargaining agreement that would allow a return to play next month at Disney near Orlando. And the NBA is voting on a proposal to resume the season this July. 22 playoff contenders will finish the season at Disney. The Hawks, though, will not get a chance to play. The vote to approve that proposal is set for tomorrow.